Why hello there YouTube, it's Six here, and today we're talking about two zombie games, the War Z and DayZ. Notice how they both have the word Z in their name. I do think this is because Z stands for zombie, or Z, or Zimbabwe in most occasions. So, let's get right into this. So the War Z is a MMO/FPS shooter that's coming out later this fall. It's going to be a free-to-play game on the PC, and it's going to be a cross between an MMO and a shooter. This also comes from the people who have done War Inc. Battlezone, which is also a free-to-play shooter you can buy off Steam. Well, you don't buy free-to-play games off Steam, but you buy things on Steam that leads to the free-to-play stuff. So, how does this differentiate from the current zombie champion and juggernaut that the mod DayZ is for the game Arma 2? Well, they say, well, obviously, ever since this game was announced, there was automatically a response. Well, they're just capitalizing off DayZ's success. Well, all this blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, it didn't take long. They already announced a persistent survival shooter MMO that's set in a zombie apocalypse. It does have permadeath, which is what DayZ has. Permadeath is when your character dies. He dies. There is no respawning. You respawn as a different character, which means you lose all your stuff, which is very annoying if you, like on DayZ, you spend 5 hours getting a 50 caliber sniper, just get killed 5 minutes later. So, permadeath in this game is in an optional hardcore mode feature. It has PvP and PvZ, player versus zombies, folded into the same experience, so it's like DayZ. I'm not going to keep comparing it to DayZ because DayZ is a mod, which will probably become standalone with the success it's had. But the War Z is its own game. It has a hunger mechanic. It has a dude in a baseball cap from the screenshots that I've been seeing. So the War Z is, can you say it's inspired by DayZ? Well, let's look at back when it was the developers say it was created. They said that they've been working on it for about 2 years in secret. But only recently been coming out and showing it off. And DayZ has only been around for about a year and a few months where it's actually been in the game. So, I don't think it's very fair to say, whoa, it copies off DayZ, blah blah blah. Just because DayZ came out first and became very popular due to Reddit and other social websites, and YouTube, doesn't mean that it becomes everything you compare it to, and everything that's like it, you say, oh, it ripped it off. Just like, you know, people do that all the time. So, why are you surprised? So, the War Z describes itself as a, survival horror, zombie, MMO, post-apocalyptic world, viral outbreak, decimated human population, killed everyone, zombie. So, that's pretty vanilla, it's pretty normal. But the thing that I'm looking forward to is, you pay $30 for it, and then it's free to play after that. So, I mean, that's at least, it's PC Gamer's article about it says it's going to be $30, but the game website says it's going to be free to play. So which one do you believe? I'd believe the actual people's website. Anyway, it doesn't have a subscription fee. Both websites confirm that. And coincidentally, if it's true that you do have to pay $30, that's the exact same price of Arma 2 combined operations. So it's going to be like, do you buy the War Z or do you buy DayZ? How about you spend $60, which is the price of a normal game and a box copy, buy both, so you can have all your zombie killing fun. Alright, so the developer is Hammerpoint Interactive, which is probably not a whole lot of people have learned about that. They began development last fall, they said. And they said, quote, the major difference is that DayZ is a fantastic mod for a hardcore military simulation game, says the senior game designer in a interview with IGN. They also said, we are creating a standalone game with the entire world designed around a zombie apocalypse, so the players feel completely immersed in that environment. Great, it's about time. If you had asked me 2 or 3 years ago where the hell great zombie games were, I would have pointed you to Resident Evil, but it really wasn't what I was looking for. 2 or 3 years ago, I sat down on the couch and I was like, you know what? I really like zombie games, I really like zombie movies, I really like zombie this and that. Why the hell isn't there a game that's focused around what would really it be like? What would it really be like? That, I should say, if a zombie apocalypse really did happen. And DayZ kind of satiated that desire for a little bit. until, you know, I got past the clunky Arma 2 engine and stuff. So, replying to a Facebook post, sorry. So, I think that the War Z and the DayZ and all the Z games that are coming out, I think that's great. The only thing is that the more people that get onto this, the more chance it is for it to become cater to casual players and accessibility. One thing about DayZ that was really nice, and they're sticking to their guns on this, is that it's accessible, but it's not at the same time. It's not accessible because there's permadeath and all sorts of these really hardcore things that would stray away bigger developers from pointing out games like this, because making games like this develops to a niche audience. And you know, because not everyone was like, well, I don't want to spend 5 hours, 6 hours getting all this loot, running across a 225 kilometer game world, and not being able to find vehicles. It's so boring, and do all this stuff, and get killed by some bandit. It's so it's a sucky game, blah blah blah. That wouldn't appeal to a wide audience. But that's how it would be in real life. And that's what I've been wanting. And people like me, it's like, it's about time you come out with a zombie game like this. And I'm really excited for War Z because of this. Because the War Z, they're going to have their own software, they're going to have their own engine, they're going to have their own animations, all this stuff. They won't be limited the way a mod is, because a mod has to work with the original game engine, and it has lots of stuff it has to tackle with. War Z has its own proprietary thing, so they can really do anything they want with it, and hopefully it won't be clunky and kind of awkward Arma 2 is. So, here's a breakdown of features from the PC Gamer website, they've said. Taken verbatim from the press release. So, people have said this is going to be in it. Big open worlds to explore between 200 to 400 square kilometers. That's bigger than the Arma 2 game world. 2 modes of play, normal and hardcore. Combination of first-person and third-person perspectives. Meld of PvE and PvP. Strong roleplay elements, multiple playable characters with customizable features, unique social elements including bounties, help requests, trap setting, etc. Safe settlements where players can purchase, sell, and store items as well as post notes for other players. Dozens of unique skills that can be learned and improved. Up to 250 players per game server. A large game server is something that really contributes to these awesome games. If you've ever played this PS3 game called MAG, Massive Action Game, those game servers could host, it was a first-person shooter, and you could have 256 players on one map, and it was absolutely awesome. The game wasn't that great, but I played it for a long time just because there were so many people in it. It was really cool. I mean, if you took Battlefield and made it a huge map and put 256 people on it, imagine that. Only have pretty poor gameplay. Anyway, in a game like this, if they can really pull a great zombie game off and put 250 people in it, that's going to be amazing. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to have, 16 players in a server or something where it's like very far and far between you see survivors. And if it's like referring to DayZ, if you have like 100 people in a server, you very rarely see 100 player servers, but let's say like a 50 player server, and you go into that one, and alright, and you have all these people on that, they're going to be in hotspots, and it's still going to be far and wide between. You'll occasionally see a noob along the coast, whatever, but mostly you'll see people hanging out in Electro or Cherno killing people. And I can't really call that a fault because that's just how people work, but it could possibly well happen in this game. I hope they add lots of places to go so it's not constrained by hotspots. So some more features are, some new weapons and items become available as players explore the game world. Alright, so it doesn't sound exactly like loot. It sounds like what they're saying there is it rewards you by unlocking new loot items the farther you go in. And that may or may not be indistinguishable from the farther you go in, the better loot you get. It may be saying, okay, if you go down here, new loot options will be unlocked for you. You may be able to find them even in starter places. Could be cool. Full developer support with regularly scheduled free content updates. That's good. Dedicated public servers. That's good. Private servers. That's good. Single purchase downloadable client with ability to play full game without subscriptions or requiring in-game transactions. Good. I'd probably do that, because I don't want to play a game where it subscribes to me or requires in-game transactions. I hate microtransactions. While we haven't seen any gameplay yet, I've seen some of the screenshots, and it looks really, really good. If they're going to port DayZ to Arma 3 before they make it a standalone game, this could very well be a PC zombie competition for DayZ. I'm really happy that this is a PC exclusive game, because they're not catering it down to consoles. I'm just really happy that the War Z has come to fruition, and because I kind of get tired of DayZs after a while. So, please leave a comment below on what you think about the War Z. I'll leave a description a link to the article that I read about to tell you about the things about War Z. It has a website. You can go sign up for the closed beta there. Anyway, leave a comment about what you thought, and we can discuss it. This has been MrSixsa, and I'll see you guys later.